This conference will now be recorded.
And we're not.
And nobody has their mask on. Everyone's in the same violation. That's good.
Elizabeth, are you on? Oh, goodness. I see you and it looks like your audio is there. Oh, maybe. Well, I guess we'll go around and do introductions while we wait for.
If I may, just Elizabeth, if you're having issues, it may be that your audio is not on, but the other thing is try and call in. There's a number that you can call in and a room number. I forget what it is. We can put it in the chat window for you.
Yeah, I've got the page pulled up. I'm looking for it right now.
Okay, if you open the chat window, which is the little bubble on the top on the right, we are about to put in, if you put the telephone number in, I can put the code in. Did you have it? I can get it.
Yeah, if you could, please. I'm sorry. I thought I had it handier than I did, and I don't.
Definitely get it. Hold on, Elizabeth, and we'll get this to you. So, all right. It is, the telephone number is
like herding cats, Rick.
Yeah, I know. 646 749. Oh, Elizabeth is gone.
I'm putting it in the chat box right now. So if she joins us, 749. What are the last four?
3129.
3129.
Yeah, and the code, the room code is 222 583 973.
973. 973, right?
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
Just there for in case we get her back again.
Okay.
All right. Good deal.
Okay.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
How's everyone doing?
Yeah, I mean, as far as like lockdown, I mean, obviously Carly and Jennifer and I are locked down here in Michigan. I mean, what's it like for everybody else? Are you on like truly stay at home kind of stuff now?
Yes.
Oh, heavens, yes.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Iowa is officially not a shelter-in-place state, so we still can do what we want to do, I guess. But
with my parents back in Iowa, I watched that closely, and I'm like, Mom and Dad, you can't go to the store every day, and you can't go. I mean, it's
It's
Dan and Jennifer, you can't go between all of your houses.
Yeah, no transporting between homes.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah.
My in-laws really want to go up north, and we're scolding them not to.
Yeah. Well, but here's the thing, and this is what happened, and this is where it's a downside when you're like caregivers for your spouse and stuff, because like I don't know what happened, but I pulled my back out on Saturday, and so thereby then that makes transferring Jennifer impossible. So we're violating Governor Whitmer's rules, and Jennifer's brother and mom came up and have been spending probably the last 3 days with us just to help because Steve can do the transfers and everything.
and then my mom can wait on us like it's spoiled.
Yeah, because she makes food, makes dinner, makes lunch, makes everything. And so, but it is, I think, but isn't there some sort of variance or whatever for people with disabilities and stuff? So we'll play that card on this one. But it's just like, it's all good, but I don't know, what's it like then? What's everyone's projection of like when this will be done?
I just read an article Well, yesterday they're not doing any concerts until fall of 21. This fall of 21.
I think it's going to be really gradual. I think they're going to slowly let us back out. You know, I mean, we're not on complete lockdown with our governor, but our mayor has us on lockdown. So it's kind of weird.
Luann, are you out east or are you in Texas?
I'm in Oklahoma.
Oklahoma. I'm sorry, I was nowhere close.
That's okay. Just north of Texas.
There you go.
Yeah. So we are not, as I said, our governor does not have the whole state on lockdown. They call it safer in place. That's what they're calling it. So it's not shelter in place. But the mayor has us a little bit more restricted than the governor does. But I do know that when this all came about, when spring break ended, I mean, my business just it dried up completely. I filed for unemployment yesterday because I have nothing going on right now. So I went ahead and filed so that I could hopefully qualify for the pandemic unemployment assistance they're trying to work out into the system. I had to get in the system with the unemployment office, even though I don't qualify, but so I can get the federal unemployment assistance. So everything's so backed up because so many people applied.
Right.
It could be like 2-3 months before I even get contacted about it. So I could be back at work by then. Who knows?
So does that? So do you feel like you're under more stress than usual?
No, not as far as financial, not really. I just don't like not contributing to the household. You know, my husband actually filed for Social Security. I can't remember now. Was it November or something? So we had extra income coming there. So we're okay. I just don't have any income coming in, and that bothers me.
I'm sure.
You know, because I'm not contributing, and you know, I pull in a pretty good amount annually, and I'm like, so I'm just kind of having a hard time adjusting. I don't get to go see all my cats and dogs, and you know,
Okay.
and everything.
Hi, Frank, we can see your video now.
All of a sudden, I'm working. I did not do anything.
Yay.
Wow.
Well, I've got a little story for you about something that happened involving the COVID-19.
Okay.
The governor of the state of Kansas made a big deal out of trying to make everybody stay away from church on Sunday. Okay. And people in Kansas don't really go for that. So the state Senate overruled her and said, no, you can't do that.
My.
And, and eventually the state Supreme Court said, yes, she can, and so on and so forth. But in the meantime, I wrote a little post on my Facebook page saying that eventually some high court's going to get involved in this and to tell the governor that she has nothing to do with it because it's freedom of religion and association and free speech and blah, blah, blah. And I didn't think anything about it. And all my friends were, yeah, you're right, Frank, you're right. All of a sudden I get this post on my Facebook page from somebody saying, wait, Frank, I think you're wrong. And he goes into a legal explanation of why this is wrong. Well, and it ended up that it was the editor of the George Mason School of Law Civil Rights Journal that was making the comment. And when everybody saw that, they're going, what's the editor of the George Mason University Civil Rights Journal doing responding to your Facebook post, Frank? And Dan, Jen, you know his mother, Jacob Quiznos, that was in Fort Worth with us. She joined.
Yeah.
And I've got Jacob as a friend, and he responded to it. He is now the editor of the George Mason University Civil Rights Law Journal.
Wow.
Wow.
Good for him.
Yeah,
Good
I
for him.
was so impressed. It's just, and everybody's going, why is the editor of the George Mason University Civil Rights Law Journal commenting to something that you said, Frank?
And you just have to say, because I'm Frank Austin. Of course it's going to comment.
Yeah, Roger. Yeah, my my reputation precedes me.
Wow. That's a great story.
It is a great one, so I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. So how have you been, Mike? We haven't seen you in
Yes, I haven't been,
not that we're taking attendance or something, but just we haven't seen you.
thank you. I had to excuse myself because I forgot about the last meeting and I've been good, thank you.
Good. Good. And Kim, you're doing well?
I'm doing really well. Like I was telling someone the other day, it was just like the 5 or 6 months that I was pretty much bedridden until I went back on my diet. And now I'll take now any day, you know, being able
Nice.
to work on my house and do deep cleaning or putting a bunch of puzzles together. I'm like, it's so nice. And like I was watching my niece and nephew last Saturday, and I got to take them on a bike ride for a couple of bike rides we went on Saturday because I have my electric bike, and that was so much fun. The reason I am watching my niece and nephew is because their parents are pharmacists, so I have to take care of essential healthcare
Yeah.
children. So that's the only reason I would
You're
get together
doing
with
your
them.
part, Jim.
Yes.
Huh.
So when their schedules aren't overlapping, I get to go over and hang out with my niece and nephews. So
Very cool. And there's what about then? Because I mean, everything's focused on like COVID-19. I mean, and then there's that whole like other health condition we all have, that multiple sclerosis. You know, everything going well with your MS and stuff. I mean,
oh yeah, I've been doing great. It's just kind of weird right now because like you have your MS symptoms, you have your allergies, and then you're like, is it something else or is it, you know? So it's always like, which of these multiple things am I experiencing? Because you know, obviously here we're getting our allergy season with like the trees and everything like that, so makes it fun. But no, I've
Yeah.
been doing really well.
That's good. How about you, Luann? Are you feeling good?
Yeah, I'm doing okay. Since I'm not driving so much, I decided to give it a go with the baclofen like I was supposed to. And it still makes me loopy. So I'm loopy right now. As a matter of fact, I have to take another round of it again. All my friends said it would get better. You know, you'll stop being so loopy. No, I've been doing it consistently for what, a week and a half now, and then I still just get loopy every single day. So.
And what do you mean by loopy, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, I'm just silly. It's just, I don't know how to describe it. It's just I don't know, kind of a woozy head feeling. And it's not because of the wine, because I'm not drinking wine in the morning. So, but it is like being drunk all day long. And it's like, oh, do what?
What was that, Mike?
I usually have to pay money to feel loopy.
Yeah, I know, right?
Pharmacists usually make you pay.
I take my baclofen and it just makes me tired and not really loopy. I need that side effect. I would like to be loopy.
Yeah. It's like the second medication.
We just had somebody join. I just see AS. I'm not. You're muted on your device, whether it's phone or laptop. Down at the bottom of the screen, just activate your mic. Try. Can you hear us?
There you go.
Oh. At the bottom of the screen, just click on the mic and it should turn green so that you can hear, so that we can hear you.
My mic is at the top of the screen.
There it is.
There it
Okay.
is.
Yeah, I
Okay.
purposely didn't have it on because I didn't want to disrupt.
Oh, not a problem. I just want to make sure we knew that we had another guest arriving.
Yeah,
And
thank you.
you are? I'm sorry, your name that just joined, if you don't mind sharing?
Alden,
Alden. Nice to meet you.
good to meet you too. Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
And we will be recording this episode, if you want to call it an episode, or this conversation. So we just want to make sure you know that we're doing that, okay?
Sure, thanks for letting me know.
You're welcome. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Yeah, I think I'm late.
That's
Well,
okay.
Better late than never.
I was gonna say that I think we all show up. It's like I don't want to say like a speakeasy, but we just come and go as you please. And oh, it's good to have you.
I don't know, we're talking about the back open and how loopy we can get, so.
Yeah.
I don't want to do.
So where are you from, Alden?
Well, I'm from planet a very far away universe.
Understood.
I'm in the Cascade foothills where I am right now, and I've lived a lot of different places.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm in Washington State right now.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Nice. Yes, and you're living with multiple sclerosis, I assume.
No, I'm not. Maybe I have the wrong meeting.
Oh, did you want to be at a cancer meeting?
Yes.
Okay. You
No,
are
I thought this,
you are
I
in
might have.
the right place,
Yes.
but it might be the wrong room.
Ah, yes. I remember that now. Thank you. I didn't realize I would have to look for a specific room. I thought this link would put me there.
There are
So this is Rick. Hi, Alden. What meeting were you looking for?
The men speaking freely. Hi, Rick.
Well, we would love to have you, but that meeting is on Thursday.
Oh, okay. Well, then I got that wrong too. I don't know how I got it in my calendar wrong. I have so many meetings going on, I can barely keep track of them all.
We would love to have you in that meeting, and that meeting is Thursday at 5 o'clock Pacific in this room.
Got it.
So you come
Okay.
in just the same way you came in here, exactly the same way, and you'll be in the right meeting.
Okay, yeah, actually, I do have it on my calendar for Thursday. Somehow I got a reminder. I got a reminder 24 hours in advance, and it said I was late. So it's my mistake somehow. Sorry. Did I
Well,
interrupt?
meet you, Alden.
yes. Thanks for
Okay.
joining us.
To say it's 48 hours and not 24 hours. Thursday, not tomorrow. Okay?
Nobody
Yes,
knows what day it is.
right. Well, depending on where you are, but yes, for me, it would be 48 hours.
Okay. Well, come
Thanks,
back
Rick.
in. I will probably be there, and we
Okay.
will welcome you with open arms.
Okay. Sorry to interrupt you guys.
Oh
Have
no,
fun.
it's good to talk with
It's
you.
okay.
Here.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, get on. You have to get on with your meeting now. Let's go back to your loopy discussion.
Oh, loopy. So,
So
I
if you
don't
want,
remember where I was at.
Julian, there you are.
Yeah. Yeah.
You aren't already.
I don't remember what I was saying now, except, I couldn't define loopy with, with Pasclifin. But I don't know if there's another drug to deal with the spasms or not. I don't know. I guess I'll have to ask my neurologist. I already told him once. I said I can't drive with that stuff, so I wasn't taking it. And now that I'm not driving, I started taking it, and I'm like, I don't think I'm going to be able to do this drug.
Do you think you could take a smaller dose?
I'm taking the smallest dose possible. I'm halving the pill.
Oh,
So
What is it? What is it you're taking, Luann?
baclofen.
Are you able,
Baclofen.
are you able to connect with your doctor remotely?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Conference? Yeah. I mean, I take Flexeril as needed. I take a really low dose of that too for any spasms I have. But almost always mine come at night, so I don't have to worry about driving. I guess thankfully you don't have to worry about it right now, but it might be worth just seeing if you can get an appointment or get a call with your doctor.
Oh, I can just send an email. They respond pretty quickly. Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, these are just the spasms from the damage is all it is. And so I think there's like 2 different drugs, and I really don't want to go on gabapentin. That was the other one. I'm like, eh. So, you know, that's the only reason why I was willing to take the baclofen. But kind of, all I can do is ask. Yeah, just ask. I mean, I wake up with the spasms, and they're in my chest, which is always nerve-wracking. So, you know, I constantly will massage my chest all day long if I'm not taking it. So, and that's how I get by with it when I do have to drive, is I just keep massaging my chest because I'm not taking the medication.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'll actually massage my chest enough that I bruise my chest. So it's the intercostal muscles that are spasming. They just spasm all day long. So if I don't take it now, the baclofen does calm it down, but it just makes me just goofy. I mean, I'm
it's loopy.
loopy. Yeah, I'm just very loopy and, you know, kind of drunk and kind of like, you know, doing my walk and I'm kind of stumbling all over the road like I'm drunk, and I'm like, oh. Of course, my dog has dizziness too, and so it's like 2 dizzy things walking down the road. I don't know what we look like to the neighbors. That kind of scares me. So.
Does anybody else, is anybody else? I noticed most of you seem to be managing pretty well right now. But one of the things that I've been struggling with myself is just like anxiety and depression in general. Like it just kind of fluctuates between the two. Kim nodding. Solidarity. The last couple of days.
A little depression, sure.
And that is that, I guess, then asking, is that like caused then by the MS or by the COVID like lockdown stuff, or just in general?
I think that's a yes.
Yeah.
I think it's a combination of the MS, not being able to get out and get involved with people, but the COVID-19 is causing you to isolate more anyway. So
Yeah.
I think they work together.
Yeah. Well, so I had my infusion last Thursday. So leading up to that, I had a ton of anxiety. Like I wasn't sleeping at all. And I don't know if Dan and Jen, you guys saw the story today about the DMC where they're literally like have refrigerators of bodies now outside. That's
Yeah.
where I was. That's where my infusion was.
Yeah, no wonder you had anxiety.
So yeah, a little bit. And they were able to like they gave me a mask and all of that sort of stuff, but like leading up to it afterwards, it's like more depression and like not being able to be around people. But I mean, I've seen a therapist for years. I have no shame in that, but the last week has been more difficult. Just it wasn't last Thursday, this Thursday before. Yeah. Excuse me, but yeah, I had a few symptoms like the Monday after I went in for my infusion, so that was scary. Excuse my language, but scary as shit. Like,
Yeah.
a friend get tested and she tested positive. She's a nurse, and so like all of these things, and I don't know if it's just because of our location or what, but it's distracting from like MS is not the first thing I think about when I wake up in the morning anymore.
Yeah.
Are you in Wayne County?
I am in Wayne County.
So you have like big numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My immediate next door neighbor is 94. He's home, but he was COVID positive.
So that just adds such another level of stress and unknown that I think, we're all used to dealing with the unknown of multiple sclerosis, but then this on top of it, and then with where you're living and going in to take an infusion, you're brave, Carly.
Well, I appreciate that. It didn't feel like it at all, but it's also part of a study, and so they really encouraged keeping on schedule. And it's been such a game changer for me with my symptoms that I didn't want to miss it either.
Right.
So the entire neurology floor was empty. It was me, one nurse, and then the neurologist came in to sign the paperwork and do what she had to do by like 10 o'clock in the morning, and then we didn't see her for the rest of the day. I think at that point, they were trying to pull off one of their nurses or doctors that was on the floor who also had MS, just so that they weren't putting them in any more danger.
Charlie, is that progressive that you have?
No, I have relapse.
And the infusion is a drug for that?
Yeah, I've been in the Ocrevus clinical trial since 2012.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And actually they were excuse me, making it sound like in excuse me, in 2022, I think is when it's gonna be ending. So well, that's a whole other lovely cluster. They were just full of good news. So
How
Wow.
often are
So
they?
you just found out about that?
well, we've been doing longevity studies, but they only do about 2 years at a time. And they said it's looking like there will be an end at this point in 2022.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry. I feel like I've been flipping Debbie Downer everywhere I've been lately, and I apologize for bringing down the group.
No.
Oh, you're not bringing down the group at all.
No. Well, because I think it's, I want to say it's almost like universal because it's just like I'm more like crabby. It's like, we talk about the social distancing, and I told Jennifer about a couple weeks ago, it's like I need to do social media distancing because it's so, everything is so political and so depressing and so, it's just like in your news is just flooded with the coronavirus and this and that. I mean, it's like that's all you see, that's all you hear. And then when you can't go out and you can't escape and the weather's not nice to go outside and you're just like, this is, my life. I mean, thankfully, I work remotely and, our work is still happening, but it's just like, you don't see people and I see Jennifer, but I mean that keeps me going. But it's just like, there's, but we can't do anything. We can't go out and have dinner. You can't, so it is just, and when there's really no end in sight, or you can't see where it's going to start. I mean, I think it's overwhelming what the
Yeah.
world is dealing with, and then let's throw multiple sclerosis on top of that.
Yeah. Yeah, I did force myself to go out on a walk today. The weather's not great. It was 32 degrees here when I woke up, but I still went out and walked anyway. But another thing I had been talking with my therapist about, instead of being mad at all of the things I can't do, I'm keeping a list of all of the things that I'm really looking forward to doing once we kind of get back to a little more normalcy. So that's been helping a little bit.
What's number one on that list?
Getting a massage, and I miss my chiropractor so
Thank
bad.
you, thank you, thank you.
Uh,
Dan called his chiropractor today and
Yeah.
texted me. He said, I can't see the chiropractor for at least another month.
yeah.
I'm not even certain about that. And he sent me like a little frowny face. So I feel for you both that you can't
Yeah,
do something like that.
Yeah, so additionally, my husband works at a grocery store, Meyer, for those of you that are like within this area.
Yes.
So I've been sleeping in the spare bedroom because, especially leading up to and after getting my infusion, you know, he's essentially at the front line too. So
yeah.
we've been trying to be extra careful there. He's had his first COVID positive at his store. So, you know, it's just like everywhere. But this spare bed that we have, I'm ready to buy a new one. Make something happen. But
When you get your stimulus money,
I what?
when you get your stimulus money.
No, I haven't gotten stimulus, but I am still I'm still an essential employee and we're still getting paid.
Oh, that's good.
I'm looking to do some Zoom with our senior members. We're gonna start doing like Friday check-ins, and you know, I imagine if I'm getting depressed, they are too. So, and I'm still fairly connected.
You can also get a mattress topper if you don't want to buy a full-blown mattress.
Yeah.
But that would freak me out, having my husband in a job where he's interacting with lots of the public every day. That would be really hard for me. I would not feel safe. My husband
Yeah.
now has been commuting from home since the 18th of last month. So I feel much better because he just goes out for like grocery store and he likes to still go get food, you know, to go and stuff like that. And so I feel
Yeah.
more comfortable, but he's controlling his exposure to people, not the other way around.
Right. Yeah, pretty much when my husband gets home from work, most of his stuff goes down to the laundry and then he goes upstairs, takes a shower before, you know, we even say hello. So, but yeah, it's pretty, anxiety is pretty high all the time.
One thing that's helped me, I like to go down the rabbit hole on the internet and everything like that, is I was watching Wired, you know, on YouTube, and they had an extended interview with Chris Hadfield, the Canadian astronaut that played Space Oddity and on the space station. And he was talking about panic and things like that. And I'm like, this is a guy I really need to just dive into and read about and learn about his experiences. And let me tell you, learning about an astronaut and what they go through and the things that they go through is, for me right now, is really beneficial. Because I mean, you're sticking yourself in literally in a tin can, you're putting yourself in these dangerous situations, and then the way they think and stuff is just like, I really need this. And one of the questions he was asked or had a answer on Wired when he talked about not panicking. And this is all before COVID-19, all this stuff. And it was just really resonated with me. Panicking has no positive outcome. And I need to do everything possible to prevent from panicking. Because I'm very good about what if X, Y, and Z. I'm very good about that. But
Okay.
like, you know, I just need to focus on the
Like
positive thing.
3 o'clock in the morning playing that game.
Yeah. So I actually got his book, ebook via my library today, and I started reading his book. And I don't know, just having that really smart guy, bringing it down to my level with no ego, great sense of humor, that has all these amazing skills and experiences. I'm like, ooh, I really need that right now. So I'm totally latching onto it.
Good. Good.
Well, that's good.
Has anyone read, I actually did finish a good one today, The Body Keeps the Score. No? Ooh, it's very good. Hang on. I have a hard copy of it too right here. It is it is about how our bodies hang on to trauma, and specifically it starts out with like World War II vets, and then like childhood trauma. I'm getting ready to go get my master's in psychology, and like I've always loved this kind of stuff anyway, but I've had it sitting on my shelf for the longest time, and I was like, well, when nationally and globally we're going through this whole crisis together, I might as well figure out like why my brain is doing what it's doing as far as like dealing with trauma. So it was a really interesting read, well, you know, from a PhD. So very interesting. MD, I'm sorry.
So Carly, Kim, would either of you mind typing in the little chat box about the books and Kim, the astronaut that you were talking about?
Oh, I'll write his name down. Yeah.
Okay, Carly, if you would do that, that was
Yeah.
interesting.
Good idea.
I just feel like I've been watching so much TV and I need to like wean myself and maybe look.
I will put a disclaimer out. This book is very heavy, and I listened to it like an audiobook. And it probably took me like a good 2 weeks to get through, just because it is talking of like about in depth like World War II and like sexual trauma that people have gone through. So just know that going into it.
Okay.
In other words, it's not a light read.
No, it's not a light read.
Thank you, Kim.
I think it's really tough to read a book that's not a light read and not being able to discuss it with someone else. I feel like you need to read that book and have someone to bounce off all these things that are going off in your head, like, let's unravel this together.
Coming up with it.
Did you have anyone else to go with it or was it just by yourself when you read this book, Carly?
I was by myself when I read and finished today with it, but a group of women like near here of entrepreneurs, we are reading this as our next book club, so it's like really early May, so I have like time to digest it and then kind of go back and revisit stuff that I want to as far as like medically what's going on. I can't talk and write, sorry guys.
Well, that's okay.
Oh, I got it. I
And
just
the thing is I can't even write, so I'm just looking over to Dan and I'm like,
everything I wrote.
It's down.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Yes.
Well, I thought that I had found my, you know how they have like your artists doing like live concerts or performing in their living room and doing this, and I thought, because if we had the camera, you could see we're in our Springsteen room tonight. So anybody who knows me knows I worship Springsteen, and I had Jennifer's brother. I'm glad he was sitting down when I told him. It's like Springsteen disappointed me because I saw everything that he was going to do a live concert, just like everybody else. But it's not like it's on Instagram or Facebook or anything like that. It's on Sirius XM. So if I'm not a Sirius XM subscriber, I can't see it. So that's where that's upsetting. So I'll listen to old albums, I guess.
Woo! That book is available for me electronically through my library. Woo!
So good. It really is. It's just so interesting. I'm curious to check out about the astronaut too. Yeah, I have a number of books. Oh, I also have on my bookshelf right now Whitney Cummings, I'm Fine and Other Lies. That seemed appropriate.
Yeah, that sounds very appropriate. Do you find yourself lying? I don't want to say lying, but like maybe being a little less than honest about how you're doing, where you're just like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm
Oh.
fine.
Oh, yeah.
Just it's too much to go into the real truth where you're like, yeah, it's easier to say I'm fine.
Yep. Yep. I think that the other thing, like, instead of, I guess they're all just kind of distractions at this point, right? So, the other distraction I found really helpful is any comedy stand-up that I can find. The one that made me laugh the hardest so far was Dave Chappelle got the Mark Twain Award, and they have a whole special on Netflix. That was really good. Did anybody else have anything that got them a good belly laugh recently?
I like Eliza Schlesinger and Gary Goldman. I mean, I can just die laughing at any of them. I should send links and stuff to their stuff because it's just hilarious.
Do you
In my
follow her
opinion.
on Instagram?
What's that?
Do you follow Eliza on Instagram?
No, I should then, huh? I
No.
just go to YouTube and just search for her clips.
So I have listened to a couple of Eliza's books, and she reads the audiobooks herself. It is so funny. Like, I'll go out on walks and be laughing out loud. It's really good.
I will do that. I'll look her up then. Cause yeah, I just go to YouTube and just find things, or we watch the stuff on Netflix.
Sure, yep.
Nice.
What about you, Frank, Mike, Luann, and Kim? Do you guys have anything that's like really good at distracting you right now?
Oh, I get onto Netflix and find something. I've watched every animated cartoon show there is, you know. And, I get into binge watching something that, you know, they've got 2 or 3 seasons of it. And
Yeah.
that's my way of entertaining myself.
What would you recommend we binge watch? Because we're struggling to find something new.
The Ranch
Okay.
Oh, okay.
on Netflix. I mean, to me, that's a hilarious one.
Okay.
Called The Ranch.
The Ranch.
Because we've seen, it's like we scan and you see all the ones. It's like there's like I don't know. What do you feel like? I don't know. It's just like we could have like read a really difficult book in the time we sat just staring through Netflix trying to find something to binge watch. So.
Yeah.
I have not watched it, but I heard that Community, the sitcom, is on Netflix now. It just got released on Netflix.
I
Never
tried.
had a piece of paper so full from one of our MS support group meetings for taking so many notes, and it's got nothing to do with multiple sclerosis.
That's the purpose of tonight, though, I think, is we need a distraction. I mean, does anyone need like time to discuss something specifically MS related before we dive back into all of the things that we should binge watch on Netflix?
So can I make a binge watch suggestion?
Yes, please.
Please.
Has anybody been watching The Crown?
I watched the first 2 seasons.
You did watch the first 2 seasons. Did you like it? Did you enjoy it?
I did. I'm veering away from like the more serious or historical shows right now, just because I need comedy in my life.
Yeah. Well, I found it. The Crown. So The Crown is the history of Queen Elizabeth II since she was a little girl, and the end of the 3rd series takes her up to. Takes it up to about 1970, 72. And it's just really, I mean, I've learned some really interesting stuff. First of all, I lived through a lot of this, so that makes it really interesting to me. And secondly, there are things that happen that I didn't even know anything about that were really, really fascinating. And it's historically pretty accurate. Maybe not all the discussions, but it's really well acted and it's great period drama and it's largely true. And you can binge watch it. There are 30 episodes, 10 in each series. And so it's good for binge watching. And so I would recommend The Crown.
Well, that's a good vote of confidence, Rick, because I remember when we'd finished binging something, they had them like previews to The Crown, and I was captivated, and I sat there and we watched all the trailer and stuff, and I think it was just like, do we really want to sit and start a whole nother new series? It's like we just weren't ready for that commitment. But your endorsement says that's what we should do.
So I don't have Netflix, so I have to figure out a way to steal it, which I have done. And I'm
Borrow, Nick. Just borrow.
Remember, this conversation is being recorded.
Oh, I was going to say that. You know it's being recorded, right?
it is true. But so I'm saving the 10th episode of series 3 because I've watched the last 9 episodes. But the best thing was the episode 9 of series 3, which was all about the National Union of Mine Workers strikes, which I really remember well, where they would cut the power off to the whole country. And everybody needed candles, and it was like a national calamity. And my buddy and I decided we were going to go over to France to try and buy candles, which we did, except that we knew that bougie was the French word for candle, and I spoke fairly good French. We also, what we did not know is that bougie is also the French word for spark plugs. So we were chasing around everywhere to garages asking them for bougie, and they were giving us spark plugs, and we wanted candles, because there were no candles. It was like toilet paper. It would be like the toilet paper of today with the candles of the power cuts. And so, yeah, it was I had some great memories of us going across the channel and trying to buy candles, but it's very good. It's very good. And then the other thing which is good, I think Mike might have watched some of these, are some of the English mystery series, like Morse, Morse. Morse they're really good. Each one is an individual episode, and then Morse becomes another series up because the guy that played Morse passed away. He was a fabulous actor, John Thor. And so it became another series and then another series after that. Now it's in its sort of 4th incarnation. But you might check out Morse and see if you like it. If you like mysteries, you'll love it.
Okay.
So, okay, I'm silencing myself again. Goodbye.
Oh, that was good. Thanks, Rick.
Oh, and I won't tell you now. Remind me, I've got the best Springsteen story to tell you, Dan, sometime.
I look forward to it.
Yeah. Good. Okay, goodbye.
Rick, what's
I
the
have
difference between, there are 2 MS meetings a month. Is there any difference between them?
No, it's just that we
different hosts?
just it's whoever comes in, and we're on the 2nd and the 4th Tuesday, and it was largely because I think with the sequestration, and we thought that it would just be a nice idea to offer people another opportunity to talk together, like you guys are doing tonight, and having good community. So we just added a second meeting, that's all.
Okay. Thanks for that.
I think that's when we have like our in-person support groups here in Alma. It's like we just get together for like an hour and a half and probably about 6 65, 70 minutes into the meeting where it's like, okay, does anyone have anything to talk about MS related? Because it's like you're just talking about anything but MS. So I think that's, this is good stuff.
Yeah.
I
And
don't
Mike,
have.
I haven't seen you obviously for a while. How are you faring? Not just health wise, but how are you faring here in Tubac? And how's Vicky doing?
We're doing just great, Rick. In fact, our zip code has 0 cases of coronavirus. I just found that out.
Nice.
But there's probably a lot of drinking going on inside these houses, and everyone tries to get together at some point. And the coffee shop is giving away free coffee Tuesday and Thursday from 7:30 to 9:30.
Oh, right. Okay.
So that's my social update.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'll have to come by the coffee shop.
Yeah.
Definitely. Definitely. It would be nice to see you. I miss you guys. And, I guess it's the same situation everybody's in. You can't see your friends unless you're doing one of these Zoom or GoToMeeting chats.
Mhm.
Likewise, Rick.
Yeah.
Hope to be around.
Okay.
My son is doing television programs via laptops and recording them and then putting them on educational TV. It's strange.
Wow.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's a very different way of learning.
Totally different.
Very impressive, though.
I was wondering today when life goes, and I'm making air quotes, goes back to normal, will we be somewhat uncomfortable being around people? Like, just because we're so used to being sequestered or secluded, and when we're actually around people, are we going to feel like, stay away, I need my social distance?
We may never shake hands again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was thinking, what if, because we don't have church as it were, but they do it all like online and stuff. So then, normally we have church at like 9 in the morning on Sundays, but now because it's recorded, I don't have to go to church till 3 in the afternoon. I'm thinking, well, I really want to get up and go to church at 9 in the morning.
You can't do a drive-through, Dan?
I think I could.
I
Maybe.
don't know. I'm such an extrovert. I've got to have people. I can't do the distance forever. No way.
So is this making you crazy right now?
It's not helping. I'm the kind of guy that likes to be out and about and around people, and it's me, and what can you say? It's the way it is. I did spend, most of a year setting off the coast of North Vietnam, so being kind of isolated is not that big a deal, but still, I need people around me.
Yeah, and I apologize if that's insensitive and I shouldn't have said making you crazy. If it's just,
Oh,
I
no.
no, I know myself. I like to be around people, and when I love Dan, but I think he's the same way. And when we don't have that interaction with other people, it's a little difficult. And you feel isolated enough being diagnosed with a chronic illness, but then to have this on top of it, you're just like, really? When's this gonna be like back to normal?
Mm-hmm.
My
Just
guess
getting
is it's going to take
outside
18 months.
You're thinking,
Uneducated guess 18 months for it to go to back to a more normal, because it's going to take a long time for things to recover, and it depends, because I think if we open up certain things, then we're going to get waves again. you know, so until they probably have a vaccine on board, I'm guessing, I hope to be wrong, but I'm guessing 18 months, and that's an uneducated guess here.
I think it's going to depend upon where you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
And
I
that's
know
another thing
is
great about Chris Hadfield is that he did lots of isolation because of being an astronaut, and they did lots of training like in the bottom of the ocean and things like that. So he's all about understanding being in small groups of people for long periods of time. So another helpful thing about him. Reading about him.
Yeah.
I know a lot of you are in Michigan in the Midwest, and the weather may not be springtime yet, but it's springtime in Arizona, and we're loving it. And we love being outside. Hope you get a chance to get outside and get some sunshine. It'll help your body and your mind in a lot of ways. And some cooties off of you. My garden and yard give me great satisfaction. Get my hands in the dirt. I'm not a farmer, but I like to play around in the dirt, and also get like I grew up in Michigan, and we were in the dirt all the time playing and
Yeah.
eating dirt and everything, and we have all these antibodies that and I think that's very helpful, and I'm sure it's helpful as adults to do the same thing.
I'm with you, Mike. I'm ready to play in the dirt. I'm an avid gardener. I have my little jade here that I keep close by, but I've got a ton of plants downstairs.
Great.
Even just get them repotted at this point, something.
Yeah.
Where are you at? And where are you at in Oklahoma, Luann?
I'm in Tulsa.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So the northeastern part of the state.
Yeah.
Green country. That's what we call it. Green country.
Yeah.
Not the red dirt area. So yeah, we're in a little cold snap right now, and it's supposed to warm up in the next few days. And I'm right now. I'm looking at my computer because I'm trying to make an order to our nursery, who is doing delivery and or drive up to pick up. You know, and they're
okay.
taking small groups by appointment only to go in, and you have 30 minutes to shop. Well, that's not enough time for me. This nursery is huge. I need way more time than 30 minutes because of my vertigo and everything. So I'm thinking I'm just going to order it and have it delivered for, you know, a $10 extra charge. I'm like, we can do that. Because as you said, I like to garden too. I like to make a little growing garden and herbs and of course my flowers and stuff too. It's getting time to get those in the ground to pretty up my home. So
Right.
So I need to get that in there because I'm sure they're pretty booked up for deliveries, and I would like to get that going so I can hopefully get something within a week to 10 days at my house. I hope. We'll see.
Yeah.
This whole shelter in place, or what, safer at home, or whatever we call it, it's not bothering that bad because I'm actually an introvert. So that's why I play with cats and dogs all day. It's so much easier for me. So, as an introvert, it's really not bugging me at all. I mean, I miss kind of the freedom of just being able to move around like I want to, but it's not bothering that bad as far as I need to be out talking to people. I don't care.
I think it would really bother me if I wasn't able to go outside and be in nature. I would have a major problem with if I was stuck literally indoors 24/7. But my neighborhood is not a very populous area. I have plenty of trails around. I'm walking my dog. So I'm very grateful on that. But speaking on the gardening thing, since I'm in an older neighborhood, I have huge trees, so I get like no sunshine on my property, so it's hard to grow things unless it's in the shade. So yeah.
Hostas will grow shade.
Yeah, that's what pretty much all I grow is hostas.
and they come back every year, so you're set.
There's no mushrooms, Kim.
Yeah, they do grow naturally in my yard. I don't know if I can eat them or not, but there are mushrooms in my yard.
And one great thing our neighborhood association has done is they have enlisted a lot of food trucks to come into our elementary school, which is right down the road from me. I mean, we're talking like a half block, to bring in some meals and come and pay for them. So we're supporting the business while social distancing. And so we about every week they bring in about 2 different food trucks. Sorry. So, you know, like tomorrow I'm getting to go have hamburgers, and the next day is like hot dogs and all the really bad stuff I shouldn't be eating. But, you know, it's a
Pretty cool idea.
spirit of supporting our local businesses.
Yeah.
So give me all the French fries.
Yeah. After all, you are supporting the local businesses.
That's right. Those food trucks are local businesses.
Yep. So it's okay.
And once everybody goes back to work, I get to go back to work. So however long that may be.
And what do you do for a living?
I run a pet sitting business, pet sitting, dog walking.
Okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
but they're all at home. We currently have one client that she just wanted to continue her dog walks. My husband does that one, and I was a little nervous about having him continue because her husband's a cardiologist.
Oh.
And I was like, I don't know if it's a good idea, but she's a stay-at-home mom, and you know, and I'm hoping they're making sure everything's safe in their home, crossing fingers. But so that was a little nerve-wracking. But everybody else came home to work from home, and that my business just shuttered at that point, except for that one dog walk. We went from, you know, making $700-800 a week to $90 a week. It's like, woo.
Well, folks, I'm going to be leaving soon. It's great to see everyone doing so well with your MS. And in fact, we didn't even hardly touch on MS tonight, which is nobody's in crisis, and everyone's doing well. And I look forward to our next conversation.
All
Well, it's
right.
good to
Well,
see you again,
nice
Mike.
to see you, Mike, and hopefully our camera will work next time.
All right, thanks a lot.
All right.
And,
Nice meeting you.
oh, there's a leave button here. That's nice. I'm going to push that pretty soon, and see you. Thank you very much, and we'll see you soon.
All right.
Bye.
Take care, Mike.
Bye.
Excuse me.
Another comedy show, I haven't seen it since like 2006. Arrested Development, I think, is on Netflix. Carly, if you haven't seen that one. Have you seen that one?
Yeah, we started going through that one. My always go-to, which we're going around again right now, is Parks and Recreation, because that's what I do. And The Office is usually on
The Office, yeah.
reruns all the time.
Have you seen the British version of The Office?
Yes.
Okay. Just
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to think of what else a newer show that I just started watching was Little Fires Everywhere, which I know is based on a book, and books are always better, but the show is actually quite good. It's a little bit dark, but good so far. It's Reese Witherspoon stars in it with, I'm totally blanking on her name. It's gone. There's my MS.
There it is. See, we got MS in the conversation.
Have you seen the British comedy, The IT Crowd?
Mm-mm. I don't think
If you
so.
like British humor, that's a good one.
Yeah. Excuse me.
After you've done your infusion, did you have any problems, or is it just you're so used to it, you've taken it so many times that there's...
I didn't have any issues from my infusion, I don't think. I did have some of like the other symptoms that they were like saying to watch out for COVID though. Like I had some of the GI stuff. I was nauseous the Monday after all day, but it was really hard to determine if it was just like anxiety or what. So like I just had my husband, so we don't have a thermometer and didn't have access to get a thermometer, but I did have a meat thermometer, so I meat thermometer. It was fairly accurate. I never had a temperature. But we were just keeping an eye on that for a couple of days. And yeah, I was really, really tired on Tuesday. And then I felt fine. So
That's good.
it was probably all psychosomatic, but at the same time, I was at the DMC where, like all of those bodies are right now. So I don't know. Overall, though, I felt.
So after all this is over and thermometers become more available in drugstores again, I assume you're going to make sure that one is in your household, right?
Yes, I wish I hadn't taken just such a big swig of water, but yeah,
Sorry about that.
readily available.
Oh.
I was just wondering if you're rare, medium, or well done right now.
I think medium rare.
Oh, medium rare. Okay.
You know, when you have to make do, and I was like, well, this is what we have. So it worked.
You know, thermometers don't even cost that much. Just to have one hanging around.
It wasn't that though. It was like literally you could not get one. You can't order one on Amazon.
You can't.
Oh.
They're completely out.
Not available.
I think the one I've had has been up there for 10 years, so.
Yeah.
Oh.
I bought one at the grocery store recently before they went all out, and I tried it, and it's a piece of crap. I don't think it really is accurate at all. I'm like, well, that's worthwhile. I think using my kitchen thermometer will probably be more accurate than that thing.
Yeah.
Well,
You
say
can
maybe
calibrate.
new one as a meat thermometer. What do you think,
What?
Kim? Maybe you should use the new one as a meat thermometer then.
I don't think it's rated for that, unfortunately, but I have a really nice thermometer that I bought back in the day when I was trying to make Alton Brown's turkey that you shove in and you can like have it go off and beep. And so I probably actually have a really nice thermometer in. I just have to be careful I don't puncture myself because it
That's
has
what
a
I'm
sharper
thinking.
end.
Right. Well,
But it
you
isn't-
can like calibrate them though.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter a whole lot because I have a low body temperature anyway. Like back in, God, was it 2013 or 14 when I had influenza A? They looked at me like, and they tested me. And they're like, "You have influenza A. Like, how can you?" Just like, I always have a low body temperature, so they're like checking people, like, "Oh, you have to have a certain body temperature to get in the door." I'll be like, "Doesn't matter. If I'm sick, I'll have a low body temperature no matter what. You won't. That doesn't work on me."
I heard somewhere that the normal has changed. Like what's normal? 96.
98.
98.6 is
6.
normal. I'm usually at
98.6.
least a degree lower.
Yeah, and apparently the average normal is now lower than that. It's like it's gone down. I don't know where I heard that. I read that somewhere, but the average normal temperature is now lower than it used to be. But this, I am actually interested about this the conversation about getting treatment, because this was just a big issue in the group we just had about whether the guys should go in for treatment if they have chemo scheduled or an infusion scheduled, whether they should get their testing done, or whether they should go in for drug, where they're on maintenance drugs and they have to get an injection or what have you. And the consensus really was that unless it's urgent, you don't do it.
Now, see,
Yeah.
that's just the opposite of what I heard today from a couple of doctors on the television.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't go in and get the things done that you need to get done, you're probably going to do yourself more harm than if you wait.
Well, I think it really depends on what it is. So, for example, with prostate cancer, there are some guys that are on hormone therapy. Hormone therapy has a somewhat of a half-life. If you've been on it for a while, you don't come back. If you don't get your drug right away, it takes quite a long time for the testosterone in your body to come back. The guys who are on chemotherapy are in a really between a rock and a hard place, because they already have a compromised immune system from the chemo, which is probably true. Is that true of Ocrevus as well, Carly, that your
Well, yeah, I
system is
asked specifically after our last conversation because Kim, the article that you had shared about where it was the steroid. So the steroid was like the short term, and they were like, be extra careful for the weekend. But over long term, they didn't really know exactly what the half-life of Ocrevus was. That would keep my immune system lower. So I've just been extra careful either way. But essentially, they just really wanted to keep me on schedule because it is a clinical trial. A lot of people that I've seen in different like MS Facebook groups, they were all rescheduling theirs. Their neurologists were all rescheduling them.
Well, I mean, I've got a very good buddy who he's actually the chair of our AnCan board, and he has gone through 2 cycles of docetaxel and carboplatin, which is a taxane chemotherapy and a platinum chemotherapy. And he lives on the island of Maui. And wouldn't you know, the Maui hospital got infected with COVID. And so there are now, he just said 34 cases coming out of the Maui hospital. And that's the only place on the island where he can go to get his chemo infusion. So he's sitting there thinking, well, what the heck do I do here? Do I get my chemo? And he spoke to his oncologist on the mainland who says, skip this one and then just go in at the end of the month and get the next one. Well, that's all well and good. But what happens if he has to miss the next one as well?
Right.
So, what I said to him is, if it were me, I'd be talking to my oncologist about what alternate drugs are out there that I can take that don't require an infusion, don't require me going into a hospital. He actually has some alternatives. He has some precision medicine drugs that he could start taking. But it's a very tough, it's a difficult time for people like yourself who are on treatment to have to make that decision. I mean, my heart goes out to you. It really does.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess because I'm beyond it now, like it was very nerve-wracking going into it, but it was like, do I wait longer and potentially expose myself to more people? I felt really comfortable about the way they did it. Like, I usually would get valet going to the hospital. I parked my car. I went up. Right when you walk in the hospital, there was someone there who was doling out hand sanitizer. They ask you what floor you're going to. They send you to another person that calls up to the floor. She said, I'm really sorry, neurology is closed. I had the cell phone number for my doctor who was willing to come down and get me if they wouldn't let me up. I had to give the receptionist the phone number to call so that they would let me up. I was the only person on the elevator. They handed me gloves and a mask as soon as I walked in. They gave me my own room, and the room directly across the hall was where the nurse stayed all day. They sanitized everything twice before I got in the room. They took a lot of extra precautions. So I felt as good as I could about
Yeah, I mean, I I hear it from my guys here too, that they come out, they take your temperature in the parking lot, but it's not easy. You know, you didn't bargain for this when you went into the clinical trial.
No, I don't think any of us bargained for any of this.
Right. True. So, do any of the other 5 of you have, or 4 of you have issues around ongoing treatment where you have to make that decision? Should I get my treatment or should I play it safe and wait?
My next Ocrevus infusion's not until August, so I have time to figure it out. And my appointment with my neurologist is the end of next month, which I don't know if I still have to physically go in there or they'll do like a telemedicine. I don't know yet about that, but
Now,
I think a
my-
lot of it will depend on how I feel at the moment. Like if I don't feel well or I don't think things are going well, I probably won't do it. But if I had to get it today, I probably would go ahead and do it.
Frank, you wanted to say something?
my physician, my family physician, not my neurologist. My family physician is doing everything with telemedicine. You know, he's doing a very good job of getting together with you and talking about what you need. We put off all the labs for obvious reasons. And as long as I'm doing fine and we can talk every 2 or 3 months, he's fine with it.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a solution. I've run across a couple of people that have gone the telemedicine route and they've been pretty happy with it. I think if it were me, if I was in Kim's shoes, I definitely would be asking for telemedicine. It's not hard for them to do it. There are even some free platforms. I have a very good friend here in Tucson who is seeing all her patients by telemedicine, and it's not costing her anything. She's on a HIPAA compliant platform, so they can do it. It's a question of whether they want to go the extra yard. And I just feel the one thing that we really can control in this environment is not to take unnecessary risks. If you got to do it, you got to do it. If Carly had to go in to get her infusion, fine. But if you don't have, if you've got to work around, it seems to me to make the most sense to try and push for the workaround.
Well, I agree with that.
It's weird.
How are you guys doing, Dan and Jennifer, with your treatments? Do you have anything coming up?
I had a Rituxan infusion, which is every 6 months. So it makes it a little difficult to work around. But I did my Rituxan infusion. Unfortunately, I live in an area where it's not, incredibly crowded. So I did it not really even thinking about the COVID-19. It wasn't as prevalent as it is now. This was about 2 months ago. But in 4 more months, I don't know if I'll want to do it. I think my neurologist would say push it back, and she would feel comfortable with that. But it is a good question.
Yeah. Do you know what the half-life of the Rituxan is? How long it stays in your system if you don't get an infusion right on time?
I think she said it can go about. She feels comfortable if I hold off. If I'm a couple 3 months past due, she's been okay with that in the past. But I don't think she would push it much further than that.
Okay. But listen, at least it gives you a little bit of leeway, and and hopefully within 6 months we'll have much better testing in place, and you're going to feel a lot more safer wherever you're going.
Yes.
You know, I mean, it's like the bloody Wild West out right now. I mean, you go anywhere and you're petrified. Although I will tell you, the Brits are, it's unbelievable the lengths to which they're going. I mean, I've spoken to family and very close friends over the last 2 or 3 days over Easter and Passover, and some of the things that they're doing, it's unbelievable. I mean, they're getting deliveries to the door and leaving the groceries on the doorstep for 48 hours
Mm-hmm.
before
Yeah.
they bring them in. Stuff
I know a
like
lot of
this.
people are doing that here. There was a Grand Rapids doctor that went through all of that stuff, like how to wipe down your groceries once they get back from the
Yeah.
store.
Yeah.
I take my pine sol bottle out and start spraying them down and wiping them off before I bring them in. So,
And,
Yeah. Yeah.
and we
Yeah.
leave anything that is delivered in a cardboard box.
or if
We'll
I buy it in a
leave
cart.
it out in the garage for a day because the
Wow.
virus can live on cardboard. So we're there, Rick. We're
Yeah.
Yeah.
cautious.
Yeah.
as
I
well.
guess so. I'm just, you know, I'm sort of in a bit of a enclave here because it's so different where I am, and I live on my own that I don't even see it. And then, as Mike rightly said, we've had very few cases in this county. I think 8 or 11, I forget. No deaths, thank God. So I don't think that we are anywhere near as vigilant as people who are more in the midst, and certainly people, for example, who might be in New York City, where I just can't imagine how awful it must be in New York City right now, where you're in a tiny apartment, you can't even get out.
Mm-mm.
I'm like Kim. As long as I can get out into the open air, and you know, there's so much space around here, go for my bike ride, do whatever I do, I'm happy. So
I have a friend in New York City and he goes up on his rooftop every day. So,
Nice.
oh yeah.
yeah, so he can just kind of view everything, get the air that way. And then he'll go walking around the city with his mask on because I think they're requiring masks in the city if you go outside of your apartment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. I'm sure it's really difficult. I mean, we've got one guy who lives on, I don't know, 90th and 1st, and he has his cancer has changed from being hormone sensitive into being a neuroendocrine small cell type of cancer, which is very, very difficult to treat. And he's been on nivolumab, which is one of these Opdivo. It's one of these immune therapy drugs, and it's not working. And now he's got to look and see what's there next. And you know, he's in a rotten position.
Mm-hmm.
And ironically, he actually works for Memorial Sloan Kettering. But I just feel for these people because it's so hard to figure out, and the risk of going out when your immune system is so weak is horrendous. Absolutely horrendous.
Yeah. I don't have
Anyway,
to stress about that because I'm on an immunomodulator, so I'm not suppressed or
Yeah.
depressed either. I'm not suppressed or depressed, so we're good.
Okay.
And I kind of violated the Kali law and started talking about the bad things again when we were only supposed to be talking about the good things. And I really apologize for that.
That's okay. That's okay.
I think it's important to address the elephant in the room. I think
Yeah.
it's kind of
Thank
silly
you.
not to.
Thank you,
So
Kim.
I don't have any problem with it, Richard.
Thank you, Kim. Thank you. But look, we're already through. We're through. It's 7:05. Time to go.
Here.
Yeah.
All right.
28th. The next one, the 28th. Tell your friends. We need to get. We need to get. Who's got all these big Facebook followings, Mr. Austin?
Who, me?
Me?
Yeah, only a couple of hundred people.
We need to get some of these people, you know, and your MSs are the worst on Twitter. They all say, yes, 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 follow this, look at this. And then they never show up. And then they say the next day, oh, this is terrible. We missed it. We missed it. So,
Well,
what's that, Carly?
I said we all forget. Everybody is, gets gung ho on Twitter, but I literally forgot what I was talking about during my sentence. So you can't blame them for not showing.
And we often have things planned on the same evening.
Yeah, there was something I saw tonight. Yeah, Healthline tonight had one of their live chats, and they had like a doctor like talking specifically about COVID and everything. So I saw that, I was thinking, well, that stinks. So but yeah, we'll keep pushing and everything. I think it just
Yeah. And you know, one thing I am thinking, I saw it tonight, I think we have to tell people if they cannot connect for whatever reason using GoToMeeting to revert to the telephone and just call in.
Yep.
Because it works fine if you call in, and I don't know what happened with poor Elizabeth. I mean, she obviously tried a couple of times. She never thought to call in, but it certainly works. It's not as good, but it works. I mean, you can't see my Twitter T-shirt.
I was going to say, I see it.
Very nice.
Okay. I have an extra one here because Twitter gave them away at Healthy Voices in 18 and in 9. Oh, by the way, Healthy Voices is free and available to everybody on the 25th, on Saturday the 25th this year because they canceled the conference. So they're doing a Healthy Voices online. So you're all welcome. And I'm going to do an 8-minute flash session, whatever that means, on virtual moderating, which you guys are all experts at, but a lot of people are not. And all of a
Following
sudden,
your lead.
Right.
Post a link to that, Rick.
what I can do is, hold on a second, and I'll post the link to Healthy Voices to their website, and then it'll be on their website. So let me just post the link to Healthy Voices. I'll do it right now. Healthy Voices Health Conference. Okay. I'll put it in right here. And then, there you go. So it's going to be all day. I'm sure they'll have some good stuff on there. And they also have a Facebook. Oh, no, I think the Facebook page has got limited access. But just put it there. And then at some point in the next 10 days, we'll learn more about the conference. And I'll probably send out to anybody that I think might be interested if they want to cut in and just listen to a couple of sessions or what.
Okay, no, that'll be good. Thanks.
Yeah, it should be real. I tried to get Jackie Zimmerman to present with me, but she didn't want to. What's that?
She's busy. I
know.
checked with her the other day. She's got her plate full.
I know. Well, what happened was they wanted, they needed slides. So that's not a problem, but I can't illustrate the slides. And to be honest, I can't even remember how to use PowerPoint anymore because I haven't done a PowerPoint presentation for about 3 years or 4 years. So I thought, well, if Jackie and I can present together and we're a good team, we've done it before and we could easily come up with something. And Jackie could do the illustrations and I'll do the slides. But she said she would love to, but she didn't have time. So, but the Healthy Voices people are pretty good. So they're going to I just have to put the slides on a Word document and they're gonna make the slides up, so.
Okay.
That's that. I do have, if you
I'm
guys
gonna
want
say
it,
good night. I got a call from my aunt in Washington State, and I haven't
Okay.
talked to her in a while, so it was really
Okay.
good.
Carly,
Yeah.
take care. We'll see you soon.
See you on 28. All right, bye.
Good night.
Thanks,
Hey,
guys.
tell everybody, okay, and why don't we close out the meeting? And it's lovely to see everybody. And I'm
Great
so
to
pleased.
see you too. Luann, Frank, Kim. Good to see you
See you in a
guys.
couple of weeks.
And
Yeah.
Luna, don't forget Luna.
Oh. She's over here.
Ah,
There you go.
there you go.
Yeah,
Have
he's
we
been-
forgotten
he's-
my Lexi? Oh, she's asleep. Never mind.
Yeah, okay.
We guys have a good couple weeks, okay?
All right.
Thank
You
All
too.
right, you too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.